Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinsons. I'm here with Jessica Dove London, the founder and CEO of the Turnto Group. And they've recently brought out an evolution and an addition to their product. And yeah, we're very grateful to have you here today and be able to talk to you about this. I think it's a great product and I'm very excited about it. And we'll get going with some questions here.
Can't wait, David.
For those who are watching now, just let them know a little bit about yourself, how you became founder and CEO of your own health tech startup, and what are your current goals for Turnto?
Yeah, great, David. So, my story began a few years ago, more than that, but my story for leading me to do this, I had twin boys and they've had a really rough medical road. Including getting some big diagnoses, including cerebral palsy. So really early on, my one son, he actually has a type of CP similar to Parkinson's. And when he was diagnosed, I went along to the appointment. We knew things were going on, and I was a bit of a geek. I took this big wad of research paper, and the doctor actually said, "Nothing you can do to help him. Don't even bother reading all that research." And my son is just this ball of life. Come through so much, and I just was like, whatever. Like, he's amazing. We're going to try everything we can, and we ended up going on this huge journey over years and just finding so many things. Almost everything was already in the medical literature, but we just had to find it ourselves by like reading every paper, usually out of context, and following threads on Reddit or Facebook groups. So just on this massive journey of finding all these incredible treatments, and just came out of it where a really good friend of mine got stage 4 lung cancer and a really good friend of mine got MS, and they just had the exact same experience that I did, where they were trying to find the best things they can do, the cutting edge things that are like lifestyle and or the whole gamut of all the things you want to do. And it was just so hard, and so much of it depended on luck. And so this is a huge problem, and I love building things and imagining that we can together do better things to, build these new things to solve these problems. And so I actually initially got a research grant to begin solving this problem with AI. I brought on an AI engineer, but then became a startup and realized this is a really exciting problem that affects, hundreds of millions of people living with serious illnesses. So that's a bit of the origin story and my motivation.
No, and I agree with you. I totally see your story happening every day on my channel. Just because people come in and they're like, this is what the doctor told me. Help is very limited. These are like 3 or 4 things they can do for me, and that's it. And nothing's working. Yeah. What can I do now? And that totally lines up with the first app you developed, the free app, the Turnto app, where people can go in there, share their stories, share their lives. And check it. I was scrolling through your website, and it said on there that 4 out of 5 people who have used your app have discovered a new treatment for themselves.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we always ask everybody, everyone who uses the product, we always ask them for feedback anonymously. And the 2 things that have been really exciting is 4 out of 5 people have found, we call it like breakthrough health information, because sometimes the breakthrough health information is a medication, or sometimes it isn't. Like sometimes it is a product, particularly in physical disabilities. Sometimes a new product can just change your everyday life. But then another thing that's really interesting is 66% of people have actually changed or started something new after using Turnto. And the Turnto app is actually just us bringing all the information together from different voices and the community sharing. So it's research, it's experts, it's patients, because I believe that the answer lies across all of us. It's not, research is very slow and it's incredible, but it's limited as well. And trials intentionally limit people. Experts are amazing, hard to find. They're often scattered as well in their views against each other. And then patients are just dealing with it all. And sometimes things are great, and sometimes, it's very mixed, obviously, across the patient community.
Yeah, it is. So what is your ultimate dream for Turnto? What do you envision in the future, and what does it feel or look like?
Such a good question. I mean, a big vision, we want is to speed up health breakthroughs for every person. That's kind of our mission statement. And it's been quite an incredible time for even imagining that. Like, I'm sure people listening, there's a different understanding of AI, this concept that's come out, and we hear it all the time, and it sounds, maybe it's exciting, maybe it's scary. But at the end of the day, I look at it like a tool that we could use to help, everyday people get access to this powerful, engine that can help you personally. And so I guess our biggest dream is like giving those tools to people in an accessible way, to speed up their own breakthroughs, to access, end of the day, I look at it like, you could live in a remote community and access cutting edge things, but you wouldn't even know about them unless you were lucky enough to have this. Sometimes cutting edge things are free things as well. Yeah. Like, that's the crazy thing about health journeys and research. I know for my children, cerebral palsy, years ago, I learned about a treatment. It's actually like a training technique about learning how to have more motor control, or to have a more executive function. And it is literally free and one of the best things we've ever done. And I guess my original dream was that someone living in the middle of nowhere could actually learn about it and access something like tomorrow that's cutting edge, versus, years and hunting and like all that journey, where you miss out on things. So yeah, the big dream is to give people that cutting edge breakthrough today and tomorrow when they can, and to open it up for everybody. And this latest thing we've built is really around how do we create low cost AI tools that anybody can use that can do that as well.
Oh yeah, no, the Turny concept that you guys have developed, where you have this, I always say Parkinson's research tool just because I'm used to saying, but like a medical research tool that you can adapt to any health condition. And I don't know if this was on purpose, but what you guys have done, which just blows me away, is you've created your own database that the AI research tool can crawl through about human interaction and human reaction about their own medical conditions. And I believe that's the one thing that's lost. Like when you go to Google and you're typing something in, tell me about this treatment for whatever disease, but they don't have like the human element. They don't have, like, okay, 10 people tried this and seven of them said it didn't work.
That's right.
But you've got that just like growing every day in the Turnto app, and I just find that totally amazing. Was that your plan?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of probably, that patient lived experience that we have where patient communities can sometimes be a little ahead. Like, because I don't know, there's this thing I've been thinking about. We all have these journeys of like understanding our conditions, accepting it, raging against it, all these sort of things. But there's this sense of like, it is all on us. And I think there's a sense of it's okay too. We care the most. Like, we care the most about ourselves or our loved ones. And so because of that, I really value, I've just had so many things help me coming from other people with lived experience. And so if we don't capture lived experience and even like expert experiences, I've always thought like, what's going to hold back breakthroughs for my kids' diseases? And I think it's not capturing things quickly enough, or it's been so historically hard to validate. You could have someone trying some at-home lifestyle safe intervention, but if you don't get the funding to study it and all the data, it's just never going to be known about. But it could be really groundbreaking. So yeah, I've always had this real experience just from where the value has been, but it also could not be for you as well. And I think one of the hard things about when you go on Facebook groups and Reddit groups, you see people talk about things and you hear even these amazing stories, but you don't even know if it's for you or if it's legitimate. And so, a lot of researchers and organizations are very against that sort of data because they think it's, just anecdotal and I can see their point of view. However, I would think we need a curiosity, because what if it is helping that subset of group of people? And now there's 300 people telling that same story. But, we're not listening to them. So we don't know how to listen. So yeah, I'm very passionate about patient voices and expert voices and research and yeah, all of it together.
Yeah, well, that's what this Turnto app is, right? It's this database of anecdotal experience. And we've always had that, but then I got to phone my brother's sister's husband's cousin's friend who lives in this town to ask about that treatment. Or I got to
Yeah,
go on Facebook and make a post, but the people I
yeah,
need to hear from might never log into and see my post.
that's right. That's
So,
right.
so having, you know, it's great to have an AI tool, but if you don't have anything to feed it,
That's right.
it's not going to spit out the data that you want.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. That's right. So that's exactly right, David.
so I think having this growing database of human reaction and human experience is very important. And there's nowhere else to get it that I know about right now.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. And we also try to capture new data. So in our mobile app, people are sharing things all the time. And like we de-identify and take the general learnings as well and put that into that database if people agree to that. So when people are sharing treatment stories and doing polls, I guess we've always had this belief that we want to, when people share, we want to give people something back. You know, so often in research, for a lot of good reasons, you know, you can go and do these long surveys or be part of study, and you never hear the results. Like you don't actually learn from it. And I actually think it's great that people are doing that. We need people to do these trials because we're not going to get advancement. But I guess everything we build, we want it to be a loop back for someone. So there's value. So if people are sharing lots of polls and answers, we're going to share that back to people. And the app, it's been a little bit, the reason we've built these AI tools is we've just had to build some new things on how to give people that more high level answer or answers, because there's often not one answer.
What's it like to see your dream come into reality now?
I feel like I'm just at the beginning, David. You know, I think it's a real privilege to build things, you know, I think whatever that is. And I think a lot of people have this experience from starting their own business, running a YouTube channel, like doing something that didn't exist that you think you can, you know, imagine doing. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, an exciting experience. And I always have the life saying you only have one life. So, you know, we could take the safe road or we could live the life, you know, take the risks and, you know, show our children as well what it's like to imagine doing something and just stepping out and doing it. But I feel very grateful. I've got a really, really talented team that I work with who are all better than me. That's how they're just very talented and they've got great experience. And so we're able to build things really fast, which for me is probably the most fun. So, you know, we've got a tool going out that you've talked about, David. You've talked about the database. Also, what this tool does is every single week, this little AI bot goes out and looks at 1 million words a week and scans everything new across Parkinson's and finds you 12 things that are relevant for you where you live. And so, you know, we've just launched this week. And already people are giving us feedback. Oh, we'd love it to do this. We'd love it to do this. Could it be in an audio format? And like next week, a whole new version is coming out on what people are asking for. So to be able to work with a team that is super talented and give that to people is so fun. Like truly, it's fun and it's also frustrating because I want it to be even better. You know, I want to give people.
You're getting some really good backing lately. You've got the founders of Canva, Google Map, Zero, and Afterwork. What's it like to have support like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. I think, you know, anybody who's starting a startup or a tech startup or an AI startup, it's definitely not a road for the faint-hearted. It's just a road filled with, you know, you have to be able to face a lot of rejection and just putting yourself out all the time because, you know, these are the most cutthroat investors in the world or in tech and AI. And, you know, it's just, so I guess I've had lots and lots and lots of rejection of this idea. And then, you know, I've met some incredible people who've built products that have changed the world and they believe in solving this problem, which is, I think, exciting for people living with chronic illnesses that, a lot of people can connect to someone in their life getting a health diagnosis. Like, it's just a very common experience, and it's a very hard experience. And, up until recently, I think with AI, there's way more things coming. But until that, like, it is so much dependent on your resources or the luck of where you live. But yeah, meeting these people has been a huge hustle to find people, meet them, share the dream. But then I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from different people. And I've always, trying to learn from people who have done great things and just get a little bit of wisdom for what we need right now.
No, Google Maps is great, and we'd all be lost
Yes.
without them.
That's right. That's right. That's right. No, yeah, very incredible technology. And I mean, actually, Lars hired my lead engineer, which is incredible. So, the biggest thing in a technical AI company is your talent, your engineering of, like, again, how do we build AI tools and give it to people quickly and reliably? It's by having great talent in our team.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's it like to watch other people run with or reshape and mold your dream and make it kind of their dream? Does it make you want to snatch your way back?
Does it make me want to what?
Snatch your dream back?
Not at all. I think it's great. I work with different people who bring different things. And, earlier on in my career, I was really lucky to work with a woman who was so empowering of people in her team, where, I was this young, knew nothing, and I'd have ideas, and she was just always so curious. And so I still have way too many ideas. And I love it when my team pushes back or has other thoughts, because it actually makes things better. But yeah, in our team, people are very, people are always motivated by different things, but probably the common thread for us is people are just really impacted to build things that help people. In technology, there's a lot of technology teams, and, really talented engineers can work anywhere. And I guess I've always said, like, each to their own, but, like, I'm so grateful we can work on things where we get emails and messages from people that are like, hey, this has really helped me. Or, hey, this could help me if you did this. And so my team love that. That's what motivates them versus, maybe, hey, our tool is helping payments be a second faster. Or, that's also great for some people who want to work in that space. But for our team, people are very motivated by the impact. But yeah, it's great when people believe in it and they make it their own and they make it better and they push back. And I think that's just how the best things come about, and definitely the case for our team.
Yeah, no, good answer. So is getting all this high profile support helping to smash the glass ceiling in terms of women in startup companies?
I mean, I feel again like I'm right at the beginning, David. I think, we've got really big ambitions. I think there's been so many women who've gone, it definitely has been, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because, there's things like unconscious bias where, people have got a bias even if they don't know they do. So, like, there have been studies done for women who found tech companies, and they study, like, the questions they get asked compared to male counterparts, and the female questions are, like, almost all, like, risk questions, and then the male counterparts are, like, our ambition questions. So I think that stuff is definitely real. However, I think the road is so hard to make your dream work and for people to actually like your product or use it, that I think that gender doesn't become as much of the thing. It's just, can you actually build something people find useful and then build a really great business around it that's serving people? So I think that is just such a hard challenge. But I think I'm definitely at the beginning, and I look at there are incredible women in technology. One of the co-founders of Canva is a woman, and she, they are incredible co-founding team, and she's built this massive company. And she's just very, very ethical. And, there's incredible women out there to look to, who've done things in a very, in a culture that isn't like that. The culture is definitely a different culture.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap things up? Anything you feel I missed?
That was great chat, David. I mean, I think our hope is if you're watching this and you have Parkinson's and you're, probably my big message is there's just never been a better time for you to be getting great information and hope and to be empowered, even if you don't have a great medical team. I think it is a really, I don't have particular experience with Parkinson's. I have a similar, but not the same. And it is a really hard journey. And I think, when we got our diagnoses compared to then and now, there's so much more incredible information you can get quickly just through Google, but also through ChatGPT, through all these different AI tools. And yeah, if you want to come and check out our product, we are building low-cost AI. We have scholarships for those who can't afford it. And we would love feedback because our mission is to speed up health breakthroughs and to do the hard work for you. That's like when we think about products we want to build for people, we know how hard it is, how much time things take. And we would really love that feedback. So, again, yesterday someone said, I want to listen to this in audio. I don't want to sit and read what I need every week. So we're building an audio, all these sort of things we just really, really listen to. But yeah, if you go and check it out, we'd love to hear from you and we will listen.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And I'm happy and privileged to share this with my channel.
Thanks, David, and love your channel and love what you're doing.
Thank you so much.